Hey everybody. Sorry, I didn't notice it had started recording. I clicked the button to start recording, but it didn't, it was like, I'm not sure if I want to get started recording. So I said to myself, well, I'm not sure if I want to get started talking. Lazarus, yet again. Yeah, well, we got gigs. We got gigs from here till the freaking ceiling. I'm not worried about hard drive space. Sorry, we didn't get this video started in the requisite way for, you know, early 2020. Welcome back to Northernlion Never Loses in the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. You make hay while the sun's up. We've had some cloudy days. Not outright rainy. No solar eclipses. But some days with a little bit of cloud coverage. Those clouds have broken. Much like a song with Amy Lee featuring Seether, that if you were alive during the year 2007, 2008, you could not escape. I'm sorry, even if you like the song. There's only been a few songs, less than 50 songs, I would say, in my entire life that have become inescapable or were briefly inescapable during their heyday. Okay? Amy Lee. Yo, this is incredible. Amy Lee featuring Seether, Broken. For a brief period of time, you could not shake a stick without encountering that song. Shouldn't have taken that spirit hard yet. Sorry, I'm not in the Lazarus mode, so to speak. You got to get in the Lazarus mode. Other songs that fit the bill, where there's very obvious ones, like some of the most popular songs of all time were temporarily inescapable. You know, My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. If you were alive and cognizant, if you have memory of the years 1997 to 1998, you will have heard that song about, I don't know, possibly upwards of 1,000 times ambiently in the wild. Other stuff that fits the bill? Certainly Let It Go from Frozen. Knew all the words to that song without having ever seen the movie until, like, pretty much exactly 1 month ago. There's some that time has forgotten, though. Picture by Sheryl Crow featuring Kid Rock. That's like, in the year 2004, 2003, you basically could not leave your house without hearing, I put your picture in. I don't think it's a very good song, but I will say it's one of those songs that the first time I heard it, I was like, it's okay. The 200th time I heard it, please turn the radio station dial to something else. I beg you. I think it is also funny because, like, it's a very popular song, but in the year 2020, I can't... I'm not trying to be super rude. Look, I'm going to tell you, between Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow, I like one of the artists a lot more than the other, but I don't really like either of them very much. But that's perhaps neither here nor there. I don't know if I can think of a more soulless duet than Sheryl Crow featuring Kid Rock. We're gonna go for this here. Like, when I picture... That's fine. I'm gonna fish for, like, a demon heart, maybe? And this is, admittedly, this is rude. But I don't mean as human beings. As human beings, they might be very soulful. But as artists, Sheryl Crow, I see as, like, you know, extremely safe, corporate, sanded off mom rock. And she is my favorite of the two. Kid Rock, I don't even know what to say. He's like a 13-year-old kid trapped in a grown man's body. And then for him to do a soulful turn is... You know, Kid Rock, he's pre-Malone, now that I think about it. I've made the joke probably 20 times before about pre-Malone, but now I'm realizing Kid Rock really is pre-Malone. I think Post Malone is better than Kid Rock, and I only know one Post Malone song. Hold on. I do not want this. Still don't really want it. I don't even want to pick it up because we'll be saddled with it. I don't like it enough, but it's getting closer. This is the money maker if we can make it happen. There are some songs that have reached ubiquity and it's worked against them, in my opinion. That's just my two. Again, if you like these songs, then by all means. I mean, other songs that fit the bill, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, and, you know, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. Hotel California by the Eagles. There's a reason. Honestly, those songs I think are probably on their own merits just fine, but because you can't be at a venue where a 50-year-old has had 2 glasses of Chardonnay without hearing them singing along to those songs, it works against them somewhat. Now that doesn't sound rude, it is rude, but at the same time, it does change your interpretations of the work. My 2 cents, at least. This is a totally fine start, as long as Krampus doesn't kill us. We've already had our Lazarus respawn. We're gonna get either a good spacebar item, or an okay passive. And I really do think Lump of Coal is merely okay, but I would, honestly, most of the time, I prefer an okay passive over a good active, to be honest, so... This run is definitely not set in stone, whether Emma or Oliver. However, it's relatively safe right now. Not Roger, absolutely not. AKA Kid Rock. Dad Rock. There you go. I'm so old, when I was a whippersnapper, Dad Rock was Kid Rock. Hold on, let me tweet that, and now... Let's see how this tweet does over the course of the Isaac episode, and we'll analyze it together, okay? We'll check in now and then. Okay, so it's... Man... I'm getting so old that when... Oh... I was in high school... Dad Rock was just Kid Rock. Kid Rock was just... I don't even know if this joke makes sense. Let's just tweet it. I'm gonna tell you this episode is probably... It's got another 30 minutes or so left in it. If I don't... Here, like, I don't want to be a narcissist, okay? But I could tweet garbage, and it'll get 100 likes. So, 100 is like the minimum baseline. That's not narcissistic at all. There's some YouTubers out there, they tweet garbage, they get like 15,000 likes. It's absurd. However, I'm going to predict that by the end of 30 minutes, this is going to have... It's not a great tweet. I'm going to predict that this is a 175 like tweet. Give me your overs and your unders. Like, I've been thinking about it a little bit more. I'll tell you, the joke doesn't even really make sense, but Dad Rock and Kid Rock, it's a subversion of expectations. Let's see where we're at here. Let's see where we're at. Legendary, man, come on. Ryan Gary cracks it up. We're at 3 retweets, 24 likes already. Someone has replied, "This is really bad, but I hope it does numbers." That's all I could ask for. Ah, come on. Well, that's not that big of a deal, I suppose. We should really, if we have reasonably tough enemies, and to be honest, that guy is not reasonably tough as long as we have piercing shots. If we have reasonably tough enemies like those, we should use Krampus's head. We're stoked to have Infamy. Please give me a bomb in here. Okay, yeah, that's very solid. Thank you. And we will continue to use more resources here. Shouldn't have taken the half spirit heart. That's bad muscle memory. Hey, man, that's my mistake, okay? So we're going to go back here, get to full HP. I don't want... I've stopped wanting my tweets to go viral, because again, a viral tweet brings nothing but pain. Exclusively brings thousands of people going, "Hey, nice joke. Did you know Australia's on fire?" Yes, I did. I did indeed. I wasn't aware that that means there's a moratorium on making bad jokes on Twitter. That's my mistake. I will get back to not posting and simultaneously not really doing anything to help the fires except maybe a small donation here or there. Yeah, I'm not in the helicopter dumping the water on. I'm just saying, look! It's just a simple goof on Kid Rock. It's punching up. And I stand by it, okay? I've exclusive in 2020. I have no desire except to entertain. And I hope even if this tweet was bad, it entertained you. How am I doing today? It's well, I was gonna answer your question with it's Wednesday. That's not really an answer. I'm having a pretty good day. It was one of those days, it happens maybe once a month. I think I could really use the HP, to be honest. I woke up like an hour and a half earlier than my alarm and felt great. Just about every day, I wake up about an hour and a half earlier than my alarm, and I go, oh, good, I had another hour and a half of sleep. Today, I woke up an hour and a half before my alarm and went, let's just get up. I feel pretty good. I like days like that. It's like you get, it's a long weekend, you know? You get a little extra time built into your day than you're used to. You get to lunchtime and you're like, you know, why am I so much more relaxed than usual? You're like, oh, that's right. It's been, this day has been 4% longer than average, and as a result, I've had ample amount of time to do my usual stuff. I don't know why I'm talking in that voice. How did you disappear so quickly? That's faster than usual. Anyway, sometimes those are secret tired days, though. Some days you wake up, you know, maybe your alarm's at like 7. You wake up at 5:30, and you're like, I feel great. Then at 7, you're like, oh my god, I feel horrible. I should have stayed asleep. But we're past that window now. Oh, that's pretty good. We're past that window now, and hold on, Caves 1, speed down is not that bad. I'm not gonna go to the shop, I'm gonna go to the arcade on the next floor, because we have Bloody Lust, and this could all start to work out for us in a big way. But I feel good today. I went to the gym. It's kind of, you know, like the first week of January, where I've really been like 100% on the gym train. I know we're 3 weeks in. I've explained myself myriad times. Kind of like, you know, I wouldn't say I injured myself, but I like, you know, aggravated myself a little bit and then thought, you know what? Remember that time your knee started to hurt when you were on a jog, but you said, don't worry about it. Just keep jogging. You wouldn't want to slow down your progress by a single iota, and as a result, you tore your meniscus and didn't run for 5 years. So I've got, I had that in mind, and I kind of, you know, took a step back for a bit. Plus, we went snowboarding, and you know, everything was sore from snowboarding. In particular, my wrists, because I was, you know, falling all the time, and it's human instinct to like, you know, use your hands to save you. But yeah, you've heard this 10 times probably if you're watching. So it felt good to be back in the gym today for sure. I felt like I was, you know, doubling down on that commitment to myself from last year. And you know, I have been one of those guys in the past. Not so much like online. More so, you know, like especially when I was a little bit younger. But, you know, I can only have like one passion at a time. You know what I mean? This is like, it's good enough in my opinion. So I, you know, for like 6 months, you know, when I was 15, I'd be like really into working out. And then I'd be like, nah, dude, now I'm really into Halo 2. Forget working out. Working out is my old best friend. Now Master Chief's my new best friend. You get the idea? So like this year, I've been really blessed so far. In an agnostic sense. Because I have like a renewed passion for work, which is nice, you know? Basically full stop. There's nothing really else to be said about it. The only negative is tangential to that, which is like, I know myself. It's one of the beautiful things about getting older. I know myself a little bit better, and I'm like, hey, don't let this renewed passion for work take away the routine that you've already built up around your health. You know, we're just adding another juggling ball into the mix. That's the way I look at it, at least. So that's what's going on that level. Apart from that, you know, very limited amount of stuff going on. Can I hit you with a gross little mini anecdote? This is a mini banter. So, you know, those of you who watch a lot of these videos will know that we have this service that, you know, is very popular in North American cities. Maybe worldwide, I just can't speak to that because I don't know. Where, you know, like a service will be like, hey, here's your menu for this week. We're delivering you, like, you know, the proteins, the chopped ingredients, and giving you the recipe. You put it together. It's a little convenient, a little inconvenient. It's a very strange value proposition, but it works for us. The deliveries come on Monday. I looked, you know, I got our... Hold on, this is important. I got our package on Monday, because, you know, it's bad, but I'm going to try it. Maybe we're the long-awaited synergy we're waiting for. I think it's really bad on individual tanky enemies like this guy, but is pretty good mostly on rooms with a lot of enemies. So I think there's a give and take, although we did already have piercing shots. So this is probably like pretty close to a straight downgrade unless we get a cool synergy. Anyway, and we're just gonna head down. We did get, yeah, we got our item on this floor. I'm not paranoid about food safety, to be honest. In fact, quite the opposite. I will eat pork that's a little bit pink in the middle. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was served a chicken breast and there was a thin, like, less than 1 or 2 millimeter patch of pink in the middle, I would probably still eat it. And I'm just being honest with you. I know the uncooked chicken, you know, is bacteria central. It's not that I disbelieve germ theory. It's just that I'm like, you know. It's more convenient to eat it than not eat it. Now, if there was a huge patch, I would not eat it. Or I would, you know, cook it again, obviously. But I'm not at all one of those guys who's like, you know, excuse me, garçon, I ordered my steak extra well done. You know? That doesn't bother me. And moreover, like, when I was in university, I was figuring this stuff out, you know. How long, like, if you buy a piece of beef, or you buy, let's say you buy ground beef. How many days can you leave it in the fridge before it's not safe to eat any longer? I think, honestly, if you took a poll, and this is what I would have said when I was, you know, 20 as well, the prevailing wisdom is probably like 3 days. Like, if you don't use it within 3 days, you should, on the 3rd day, you should audit yourself. Are you going to use it tonight? If no, put it in the freezer. Otherwise, you know, and after that, you're taking your life into your own hands. You know what I mean? Please keep in mind, this run is not great right now. However, part of the reason it's not great, pardon me, is because our damage is bad because of the lack of bloody lust on this floor up to this point. Sorry, I just shouldn't have interrupted myself, but where was I going with that? Now, I'm different. And honestly, the reason I'm different is because my wife is substantially less paranoid about food safety than I am. And I'm not even paranoid to begin with. Sometimes, you know, she'll leave a piece of meat in the fridge for like 6 days. And then be like, you know, hey, do you want to have that tonight? And I was like, oh, I thought we had an unspoken agreement that that was going to go in the trash can. And she's like, nah, it's good. She'll open it up and, like, smell it. I don't even know what she's smelling for, but she's like, it's good. I've done it myself. I kind of just rely on, like, my genes. I'm like, if this had gone bad, even though I don't know what I'm smelling for, my genes would be like, don't eat this. And I have to say, a lot of people are probably like, you're playing with fire. But, you know, I've lived with her for almost 8 years now, and I don't believe I've ever been the victim of foodborne illness in that time. That's not to say you should do that. I'm just saying. We do differ, though, because I will, if something has a best before date, it depends what it is, I'll admit. But if like, a piece of meat has a best before date, I will not disrespect it unless pressured to do so. Hold on, I'm looking. Oh, we've already been to our shop. Okay, let's get out of here. The shop sucked. I remember now. You know, I think we should, and this is a bit spiced, but I think I am going to fly into this room And the reason is the Hermit card could allow us to get free boss rush, but we're going to have to be real quick. So let's hope we can get that done. But yeah, you know, if like we buy a pork chop and, you know, today's the 22nd of January, if they were like, you know, cook this by the 30th, on February 2nd, I'm not eating that. But if Kate was like, I'm going to make pork chops tonight, I would be like, okay, I'll eat it. I don't, pardon me, a little phlegm in the throat. I told you I didn't get much sleep last night. I don't mind being the potential victim. I don't want to be the guy who makes the decision and goes like, yeah, we're all getting sick tonight. Anyway, so how does that tie into what you were talking about earlier? This is a weird one, dude, but I think we should take it, but it's close, I'll admit. But I like to live on the edge of danger here. Well, you know, the box that we got, for example, this week it came with some, like, pork strips. I don't know what cut of pork they were, but, you know, it was just cut into strips. And a little bit of ground beef and, you know, a lot of vegetable content, a lot of grain content. But I'm highlighting the meat for a reason. There has been a box in the lobby of this building since early Monday morning, and it is now Wednesday afternoon and it's still there, has not been picked up, has not been refrigerated, has not been touched as far as I can tell. And I'm just wondering, like, what the statute of limitations is on me picking it up and throwing it into a dumpster. Like, I don't want to invite that onto myself. I don't want to have security footage be pulled and be like, this guy took our food. But at the same time, I also don't want this incredibly gross mold bomb to fester and become disgusting. So, I am considering breaking my non-intervention pact that I've made with society, where when I see people do dumb stuff, I only call it out from the safety of my own home, and instead trying to be the change I want to see in the world by throwing garbage in the garbage before it explodes. So that's the main thing going on domestically for me right now. Surely, there's no doubt, it should not be consumed at this point. That's doubtless. They do give you, like, they ship them in packed ice, but at the same time, that's not keeping your food good. I shouldn't say shipped, because they're actually delivered, you know, like from a facility in the city, I think. They're not, like, packaged in Antarctica and then sent on a tanker here. And we are unfortunately not going to be able to get boss rush, but that's okay. We took a gambit and it didn't work for us. But yeah, I mean, with ice, I think you got 24 hours. You don't, probably less. Most people would probably say less, but I'm not paranoid about food service. Whoa. Oh, the egghead is leading to us not getting hurt on some of these, dude. That, to be honest, I think you've sold me on trying to make IV bag our go-to here. Krampus's head is worth it. It's a good item. IV bag can pay dividends for us in its own unique way as well. So here's my thinking right now, and this is how you know I'm invested in this streak, dude. I want the success. Okay, we're coming down. We'll check out that boss trap room on the way. But I'm gonna get. Yeah, it's not worth it. I'm gonna get some red hearts. And the reason I'm going to get these red hearts is because I want to be able to use the IV bag on the next floor as well. Got a great luck upgrade. All we got to, or luck stat I should say, all we got to do is make it to the chest, and we got things working out for us. If I curse anything right now, I curse my, hey, let's have fun attitude, right? If we hadn't taken bad brimstone, we would probably be doing a lot more damage. Or damage a lot faster, at least. I was just gonna say, all I need to be happy here is one guppy item. Balls of Steel is actually pretty nice as well. So, we're one guppy item away Let's head down here and let's look at this tweet. I lowballed it in a big way. Right now, 23 replies, most of which probably say stop, even though they love it. 16 retweets and 208 likes in 20 minutes. So you know what? I lowballed it, and I'm happy to say we're outperforming expectations with this Kid Rock, Dad Rock tweet. This has been a social media marketing case study. My prevailing lesson is if people like you... I was thinking that might take the spear at heart. It was mostly a test. If it had worked, though, it's not a test. It's an experiment. If people like you, they will retweet just about anything. Or at least like it. Retweet it has a higher threshold. Okay, our teleport card did not pay dividends. What am I looking for? Honestly... This is a huge ask, but it's not a huge ask for the reason you might expect, okay? I think that deal with the angel, because somehow we still have not ruined our deal with the angel precedent. I think a deal with the angel that gives us homing would be awesome. Now, unfortunately, the only... Well, not unfortunately, because it would be amazing. The only ways that happens, though, I believe, is Godhead and Sacred Heart. So I will admit, you know, in those situations, we probably would look more at Godhead and Sacred Heart and be like, the damage here was really the moneymaker. But I think that with our homing capabilities, the Brimstone we have here would actually be a little bit more functional. So I definitely, that's on the list. But hey, you know, we can't control that. It's outside of the purview of our ability, you know, that kind of stuff has already been determined by the seed, which in turn has been determined by the code, which in turn has been determined by the... I was gonna say the uterus. What I meant was the universe. Really makes you think though about what if it wasn't Universal Studios? I'm just gonna stop that right there. Dude, can I tell you, I also had a great revelation today. And it's not really a revelation, it's just, there's nothing better. Well, there's many things better. I don't want to be ridiculous, but, you know, one of life's great joys is not even knowing that something you wanted was coming, and then having it appear by surprise. Like, I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. Imagine my surprise when, we will take. Imagine my surprise when I opened up Twitter, saw Curb Your Enthusiasm was trending, and went, oh, this is a bunch of K-pop videos, probably. And then I clicked on it, and no, it's trending, because a new season started. I had no idea a new season was even in production, except... that when I watched 5 minutes of Jeff Garlin's stand-up comedy special, Our Man in Chicago, that I thought was, and I mean no disrespect to Jeff, who I think is hilarious on Curb Your Enthusiasm, I thought it was one of the worst stand-up comedy specials I've ever seen. I think I do prefer this, to be honest. He was like, I've been filming the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I was like, okay. But, I mean, a new season also came out like 3 years ago. This could be material that he'd recorded a long time ago. Or, alternatively, this could have been recorded like a month ago. And the new season could be like, you know, a year away. So it never really entered like, you know, coming soon territory. It's a great thing. That's the benefit of not being a stan in some situations, is that, you know, for me, sometimes I'm like, oh, this must be the new BTS song. I think there's benefits to standom and negatives to standom. One of the benefits to not being a stan is you allow yourself to be surprised. One of the negatives is that you won't be literally one of the first 10 million people to hear a song you're going to listen to 330 times a day anyway. But Anyway, I'm not trying to rile up the community. As I've said many times, A, stan Luna, and B, I lived in Korea, so I am immune to any and all criticism about my comments in respect to K-pop. Secondarily, I'm always stoked when I hear a K-pop song like at the gym or like on the radio. Because I think it's cool that, you know, in North America we're starting to break down that barrier of like the only songs that can be successful are in English. I get the Despacito as well, and you know, maybe like there was like a Aladdin explosion in like the late 90s, but those songs were all in English. It just occasionally they said one word in Spanish and we were like, ooh, I'm worldly. He said caliente. But and then the other reason is like, honestly, like I have my own criticisms about K-pop, but I do think that a lot of it tends to be more interesting than its Western analog, which is, you know, extremely by the numbers pop songs that get popular on the radio. Neither are my preferred choice of musical entertainment, but, you know, if you're giving me the choice of one or the other, I would probably go with K-pop over the you know, top 40 radio hits in North America as is, to be honest. As being sincere. I'm not really worried about not understanding the words, because the last time I derived any sort of lyrical value out of a top 40 song in English was, I don't know, in the year 1998. We don't want to... Oh, but you should open the chest! You just threw out your chance to become Guppy on that chest, brother. Big mistake. Anyway, we allow me that mistake, okay? Because we piloted this run with relative success hitherto this point. We will open. I regret everything. You know, honestly, hold on. Yeah, hit me. I want you to hit me. I also want to use this. Just go ahead and hit me. Why am I doing this? Well, I want to build up my damage, and we got HP coming for us anyway. Plus, actually, with the Maw of the Void, we might even be able to pick up some more. This is like prime Maw of the Void territory. What did I tell you? Alright, now our damage is acceptable. I don't know, this is like, we're getting a little bit heady for an Isaac episode, but I'm gonna go there anyway, alright? I think, like, if you live in Canada, the United States, or you know, England, or Australia, let me finish what I'm about to say before you get mad at what I'm about to say, which is, culturally, I don't know if you know how lucky we've had it for a long time. At least for, like, my lifetime, you know? Movies in English are considered, you know, the height of cinema worldwide. There are, you know, some exceptions for sure, but even like, you know, like Spanish directors, they do some great movies in Spanish. They get noticed by Hollywood. They make a remake of their Spanish movie in English that's substantially worse than the original, but it's considered like a step towards legitimacy for whatever reason. When I lived in... Well, here's a question for you. If you took... It's a thought experiment. It's not a real answer. If you ask the average, let's say 40-year-old American to name a South Korean musician, what percentage of average American 40-year-olds do you think could name even one? I bet it's like 2% to 5%. You know? I think that some people would remember Psy because of Gangnam Style. A lot of people would say, who's that guy who sang Gangnam Style? But they would probably say Gangnam Style. But I think you'd get a very low percentage. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you ask the average South Korean that's 40 years old, for example, to name an American artist, 100% I think would be able to name at least one. most people, I think, would probably be able to name, you know, like at least 10. Even when I was teaching in Korea in like 2010, kids were singing Michael Jackson songs. So, like, we really, as North Americans, we've been the benefit of being, or we've been the benefactors, I should say, of being cultural exporters, you know? Our culture is known worldwide. And to some extent, and this is where I'm beginning my master's thesis, apparently, I think it's been because, you know, America was like the most powerful nation culturally and, you know, from like a power projection standpoint as we've entered this digital era, well, mass communications era, you know, with like TV, radio, and it says, you know, films being distributed globally, etc., etc. I think it's cool that that's changing. I even bit by bit, I think, you know, it reflects the fact that, you know, we live in a much more global world now. And, you know, what's stopping you from watching, you know, a very critically acclaimed Japanese movie? You know? What's stopping you from watching a very critically acclaimed well, the South African movie might be in English for that matter. But anyway, you get the idea. You know? Literally just, like, reading. Other countries on Earth, anytime they've wanted to digest movies, they just shut up and read. And nobody complained about it at all, I think. But I wouldn't know because I'm not really a part of those cultures, I suppose. But anyway, they've been doing it for years. Decades. It's only, I think, over here that there's been pushback. And I think that definitely it's like an older generation thing to some extent. It's also how you were brought up, I think. Because, like, my parents, until I was a teenager, I don't think they watched a single film with subtitles. Now, I brought it up many times. They're, like, more indie and, you know, into, like, foreign movies than I am. New movie comes out that's, like, you know, it's got subtitles and a plus 85 score on Rotten Tomatoes. The day it comes out, my parents are like, oh, hey, have you seen this? And I'm like, no, I have a job, Mom. What are you doing here? Ooh, should have taken, should not have taken, I don't know, whatever. Not a big deal. I think it's something to embrace, you know? I don't think it necessarily means that there's like an erosion of North American hegemony overseas. Like, I've said this many times, when I say this, I don't mean like all North Americans have easy lives, okay? I'm not saying like, oh, if you're born in North America, you're born instantly to wealth unimaginable and blah, blah, blah. Because that seems to be what a lot of people believe on 90 Day Fiancé. They meet a guy and he's like, I'm American, and they're like, I'm gonna live the life of my dreams, and you're like, lady, I mean no disrespect to him, but he's driving for Uber. You better be in love. Because he's not going to be able to, you know, buy you a Maserati. At least not like this week. It's the Kanye West lyric, you know? He got that ambition, baby, look in his eyes. This week he's mopping floors. Next week it's the fries. I haven't mopped the floors. I haven't done the fries. But I have worked at Goodwill. Which is somewhere perhaps between floors and fries. I don't know, it might be below floors even, to be honest, in terms of enjoyment. But, you know, as an English speaker, anytime I travel, I'm reminded of like, man, I didn't even know how many advantages I had. You get off the plane in Tokyo, every sign is in English. Why? You're Japan. I'm not mad. I'm so happy, but I feel bad. Like, I feel guilty. And you're like, oh, don't feel guilty. It's your money that's helping to... Yeah, but at the same time, like, it's your country. You know? And I'm like, I'm not saying you should have to learn Japanese to go to Japan, because I think it's ridiculous. And it's nice that everything's accessible, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, man, I didn't do anything, but, like, the world is built for me. So I'm glad that we're mixing it up a little bit. And everybody's getting a chance at the Billboard Top 200. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, click the like button. Subscribe. It's the year of the egg, 2020. We're getting to 1 million this year. Be a part. Subscribe. We hit 301 likes. Almost double my expectations on that tweet. I hope you enjoyed your little case study, and I'll see you next time. See ya!